Katie here. And if you've been following me, you know that this month I am sharing stress busting tools for the holidays. My first tip was around breathing techniques, and there's lots of different techniques out there, but basically it all falls under the term of pranayama, which just means basically controlled breathing. And I even shared just intentionally thinking about your breath and even saying to yourself, I know I'm breathing in, I know I'm breathing out as you're doing those two things. That alone can even like focus you and take you out of the stress response. So, check out my video on that below. But the second tip I gave was regarding a kind of meditation known as Yoga Nidra. It's another favorite of mine. And I explained what that is and an easy way to do that. You could get something called the Insight Timer app, and they have thousands of meditations on there. And you just search for Yoga Nidra, and you could follow along the instructions. So those are my two earlier tips. This is going to be kind of like you've heard of the 12 days of Christmas. I've decided this month is sort of the 12 tools, stress busting tools that I'm going to be sharing with you. So the third tip, which I'm sharing today, is something called emotional freedom technique, which goes for short of EFT. So perhaps you've heard of EFT or tapping and you're like, what the heck is that? And I have to be honest with you, the first time I heard it, I was like, tapping. I'm like, this sounds really kind of, I don't know, out there. But the more I've gotten to know it and use it, I love it. It's a really cool thing. And again, all of these tips I'm offering this month are things that you can do right now. You don't have to buy anything, do anything, take a course, go to, whatever. I'm trying to make this super easy and useful, right? So that you get the impact of it immediately in your life right now. And why I'm going to share with you in a moment the 5 steps of EFT and how to do it is because in case you missed my workshop last week, I want to, prep everybody for my guest speaker coming next week on the 15th. Alan DeLone will be here, and he is a master EFT practitioner, and he is going to walk our members through an EFT session, like they're going to deal with exactly their thing. So I wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page and kind of knew how to do this. But even if you're not in the membership and you're not going to be joining us, I want you to have this technique to use as one of your tools in your toolbox. So basically what EFT is, it focuses on the meridian points. And if you've ever heard of Chinese medicine, they actually have the whole body mapped out as meridian points or energy points. And so just like acupuncture tries to free up your energy by releasing the blocks, what we're going to be doing is tapping these meridian points to have the same or similar effect. So basically what you're going to do, because there's so many great benefits to this, tapping, it basically helps you access your body's energy and send signals to the part of the brain that controls the stress. So it's incredible. You can release kind of emotions and feel free. So it's literally like you do it and you'll know right after you do it whether it worked or not. The 5 steps are these. The first step is to identify the issue or fear, right? So something like, even though I'm so stressed out because I've got all these things on my to-do list and I've got family coming to town, I got this, whatever your fear is, or even though I was just diagnosed with breast cancer and I'm really worried that I'm going to survive this, or I don't know how I'm going to get through the next week or the next treatment or whatever. Whatever your issue is, make it super specific. This is super important. It shouldn't just be a general thing. It should be, the more you can hone it down, just one specific fear or issue, the more powerful the release will be. And you can do this, you can say, well, I've got lots of things. Great, do it lots of times. Do it on different days, different, whatever. But, if you can do one specific thing at a time, that's really great. Step 2, identify a level of intensity between 0 and 10, 0 being the least difficult, 10 being the most difficult, of where this is for you. Like, are you freaked out right now? Like, you have a scan tomorrow and you're like a 10 in fear or something. Or, do you just, I got to deal with X, Y, and Z, and I'm a 5 or a 4. So then, because what you're going to do is you're going to rate it, and then after you go through the exercise, you're going to rate it again. And ideally, you want to keep doing the exercise until you get it to 0 or as close to 0 as you feel comfortable with. And if you have a 10, just know that you might not get to a 0 on the first couple of times or whatnot, but that's the goal. Step 3, establish a phrase that explains what you're trying to assess. So address. So in other words, acknowledging the issue. And then the second part of the phrase is accepting yourself despite the problem. So the phrase sounds something like this. Even though I have this blank, fill in the blank, with a fear or problem, I deeply and completely accept and love myself. So you basically acceptance for yourself. Another way to do this, if you like, it's really great if you can say that, and you should be able to say that. But sometimes when you're starting out, it's really hard to even accept yourself. I totally know. I think the first time I did this with someone, I was just crying, bawling over being able to say, I completely and wholly love and accept myself. Like, that was hard for me to say. So, but maybe you have a higher power in your life that you can use as that, like even though, like for you, if you believe in God or spirituality, or your cats love you unconditionally, or whatever it is, pick something, because there is something out there that does unconditionally and wholeheartedly believe, love, and accept you. So you could try that on for size as well. Okay, so step 4, I'm going to take you through just what it looks like to do the different points. So basically, you're always going to start with tapping on the karate chop point, right? And so you do this repeatedly while you do that setup phrase. So even though I'm so stressed out that I have to get everything I need to get done, I still wholly, completely love and accept myself. Okay, I don't have a phrase set up right now, but I just wanted to give you examples. And again, that wasn't a good example, because again, I would do a specific one. And I have lots of examples for these, and hopefully, again, you get my recording when I went through this last week. But anyway, so this is the first point, and you will say that over and over again. The next point is going to be tapping on the eyebrow points, right? And you're going to repeat the phrase. It can change. It doesn't have to be exact. You could be like, whatever the stressor is, start the laundry list, whatever it is. You can free associate. Then you're going to go to the side of the eye. Next, you're going to go to under the eye. Then you're going to go under the nose, the chin, the beginning of the collarbone, under the arm. I called this the monkey pose. I don't know if you can see me in the camera, and then you go to the top of the head, right? So you'll notice I didn't do the karate chop point. That's at the beginning. So you do that at the beginning several times, and then you're just going to rotate. You're going to rotate through these as you say your phrases, okay? So, and you're just having a conversation with you. You don't have to struggle too hard to figure out what you need to say. And you're going to do that several times. Take a deep breath, breathe out, and then now finally you want to test the intensity. Where are you with that same issue on a level from 0 to 10? Yeah, so basically that is the whole process. And again, I'm shortening it here because I don't want to make this a huge long live. But really, like I said, I have videos on this, and I hope you'll join me. I'd love to see you tomorrow in my class. We're going to be going over, last week I shared 11 stress busting tools. We're going to be talking about those tomorrow, including this one. We touched on it last week, but we're going to touch it again. And then again, I'm super excited that next week Alan's going to come in and he's going to walk you through this. So if you've never done it before, no worries. There's nothing you have to do except show up with your issue or problem, and he will do the rest. And I guarantee you will leave that session feeling better than when you started it. So it's kind of like immediate stress relief. And then the great news is you can do this yourself anytime, anywhere. So, and I have another tip for that that I'll share with you next time, an even easier, simpler form. But I definitely wanted to get that out there about EFT today as one of the 12 days of Christmas stress busting tools to put in your toolbox, under your tree, under your menorah, whatever it may be. These are my gifts to you, and I do wish you a very happy holiday season. All right, take care, all. Bye bye.